Hey everyone, how you doing? Hope you guys are having a great day today, because I am having a great day. I know you guys didn't ask once again, but I know you guys asked in your hearts. So
in your dirty, greasy hearts.
in your dirty, greasy, wrenchy hearts. My name is Freddie Hernandez, also known as Tavarish, if you're on the internet and you see some Lamborghini videos that you click on and watch. Joining me is my friend, my partner in crime, Mr. Andrew Howell. Well, he's also known as the artist formerly Nern. The
artist formerly known as Fern Gurgens.
Finn Gurgens.
Fern Gurgens.
That's
It works.
right.
It works.
So this is Andrew Howell, a.k.a. Finn Gurgens. So if anybody sees a hotel reservation by Finn Gurgens, they'll know that that's Andrew's stage name, and they'll know that he's gotten too big to have hotel reservations in his own name.
Is that a fat joke?
No, not literally too big, but
Too big. He has to rent two hotel rooms now.
wow, that is a really good Yo Mama joke. But no, you know how celebrities and whatever they have to have like fake names.
Oh yeah.
Yours is gonna be Finn Gurgens, but it's just gonna be. It's weird because that's gonna be how people know you.
Yeah.
So that might not be a great name, but we're not exactly.
I'll switch it up and I'll make it Gen Fergens.
Gin Fergens. That's like 3 memes away from the original thing. Okay.
That's 3 degrees of separation.
Exactly. All right. So this is the Wrench Every Day podcast. We talk about wrenching in cars and other stuff that just.
Oh wait, this is the Wrench Every Day podcast.
This is the Wrench Every Day podcast.
Oh, this is. I gotta go. This is the wrong one.
Oh crap.
Yeah, it's the wrong one. I'm sorry. I gotta go.
Okay. It's a wrong room. You're not gonna like what I'm about to say. All right. So today I worked on my Lamborghini a little bit.
I can smell that. Your house is currently filled with a hint of V10 exhaust goodness. A little rich.
A little more than a hint, actually. I mean, it's pretty pungent, I'd say. So I got my car running, as you guys have already seen. So by the time this comes out, you guys have already seen that I have some problems resolved and found some other problems. So let me give you a rundown of what happened. I got this car running. That was a really big milestone.
Huge.
Yeah, and I was very, very. I'm not gonna say apprehensive. Like I was pooping bricks.
I was defecating masonry.
Yeah, I was in fact defecating. No, but it was insane because Tony and I, Tony, the guy who does all my welding,
Your welding Jedi.
my welding Jedi, I am, but
I
I'm not
told
even
you
a Padawan.
the
I'm just one of those mouse droids that cleans up every once in a while.
Have I told you the tragedy of Darth Weldis?
Darth Weldis the Wise. Yeah. So the night before I started it, we were up till like 2 a.m. just getting the last part done, which was the intercooler. And the intercooler had this. It's made of aluminum, so it's a big aluminum intercooler. It has two huge cores, and it can flow up to 2,000 horsepower. That's a really like overbuilt intercooler.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had to change some of the ports where the turbo comes in, because my turbo setup is a lot different than the turbo setup that was on there when I got the car.
Thank goodness for that.
Yes, and it took a long time, and we almost didn't make it. It was around midnight when we were trying to weld up the ports, and for some reason, the aluminum was super dirty. It just like the metal, when you have to weld aluminum, you have to have it 100% clean. It has to be super clean. But one thing that we didn't know, or maybe we're just tired or whatever, was when we cleaned it off, like we got the metal shiny, but we did it with a wire wheel. And the wire wheel is made of steel.
Yes, it is.
So what happens when you wire wheel steel with aluminum? It impregnates the aluminum, and then when you try to weld aluminum, it just doesn't stick. It's like cinnamon. Like if you try to spray something on cinnamon, like it just beads off. You know, it's like a Rain-X or something. You know.
I've never tried to spray anything on cinnamon.
Like I don't know, like a liquid on cinnamon. Sometimes it doesn't. It just beads off.
That.
Yeah.
Well, what you should have done is you should have called Chris Fix to learn how to super clean your aluminum.
That's right. Yeah. So, hey guys, Chris Fix here. And today we're going to learn how to super clean your aluminum.
Thanks to him, my windshields are always perfect.
Dude, you could super clean your life with everything that guy has to say. But so Tony was like real close to giving up. And for some reason, like it's me just pouting incessantly and saying, because here's the thing. I was like, I didn't want to be a jerk. I really didn't want to be a jerk and say like, please, 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 please stay, because I really want to get this car started tomorrow. And like, because
Keep working.
right, like he is doing this out of the kindness of his own heart, and
Out of the few spare hours he has of his long
yeah,
day.
yeah, exactly. I mean, he this was during the weekend, so he did have some. I guess he had some free time, but he could be spending that with family. He could be doing whatever. The next day, the very next day, was his birthday. So it's like, how much of a jerk do you feel when he's like when he's telling me, he's like, hey, I'd like to go out and celebrate my birthday, go out to a bar. He's like a biker. He likes to go around and go to bars and just be social, that sort of thing. And he's like, well, I want to go out to the bar and whatnot. And I'm like,
Or you could stay here and
well, no. But here's the thing. No. It's not like I pushed him, because I said,
Right.
I said, do whatever you want. I'd prefer it if we finish this now, because it would make things a lot easier. That means I can have a video out for Monday, and I could do everything else. And it came down to it, and he was like, well, I can come back tomorrow morning, and basically the morning of his birthday. And his parents were coming over, and he was doing this whole thing, and they had this like surprise for him. And I'm like, listen, if you go out to the bar tonight and then you have to wake up early and then do this stuff again, like, it's not going to make any sense. So we eventually got to the point where it was like, it's too late to go to the bar. Like, by the time he gets home and gets on his bike and goes to the bar and does everything,
it'll be 2:00.
It'll be 2:00 and already last call, and where it's not going to make any sense, right? And that's just like he said, you know what? I'm going to stay and fix it. I'm going to stay and make sure it's done. So here's the thing. I would have been fine with having like some booger weld on there, like as long as it was structurally,
Sealed,
structurally and not integral, but structurally sound. He was not happy with that at all. And we had this one part of this weld, and it was just completely like, it was nasty, because the aluminum, like what he was doing is trying to build up the aluminum with the welding rod, and then he just wanted to kind of bring it over, but the base metal wasn't taking any of the aluminum. It was just literally beating off, because there's a bunch of impregnated steel and stuff. So we ended up just starting from scratch. We ended up just cutting that whole thing off, and then we cleaned it well. Like, we have this this grinding wheel that's made for aluminum. It's white, and it's a lot softer, and it doesn't leave any sort of residue. So I got another pipe. I have like a bunch of pipe and whatever. I got another pipe, and we redid both of them. And then after he welded up both of them, then he went over it again just to clean up the welds and make it look like a perfect thing. He's like, listen, I want my work to look 100%. And I'm like, dude, it's like 1:30 in the morning. You should go get some rest. He's like, no, I want to finish this. I want to make sure. Like, this guy is nuts.
That's awesome.
This guy is absolutely nuts. Like, they don't make people like him. But they just don't. Like,
He's the last Jedi.
He is like, this is literally like, just he's the best kind of person. So I hope he had a very, very good birthday. I heard that he got a nice toolbox from his significant other, and his parents were there, and that was all good. But I got the car running. I had to do kind of a mad dash. I thought it was just going to be, I button a few things up on the last day and I just make a video. Like, no, there's like a full day of work after that, because what I did was I had to tighten up all the oil lines. I had to make sure that there were no leaks. I had to install the intercooler. I had to get all the metal shavings out of the intercooler, which were a lot. So I just put a garden hose through it and just waited till it dried off. Then I had to double and triple check everything, because you don't want to start it up and realize an oil line is out.
Yeah.
So after that, I did the video, and as always, there's comments saying you talk too much. Why don't you get to the thing? Like, you can. It's on demand. You can literally go to any time, like in the video. If you want to start it and just go directly to the time I started, go ahead. But I wanted to give some necessary context. So I started it, and the car would not rev past 2,500 RPM. But the car started, and it idled okay-ish. Like the engine sounded fine. It wasn't like clickety-clackety, nothing like that.
No knocking.
No knocking. So the engine was running okay. But the major thing was that the clutch is fixed.
That's the best part.
Yeah, that's the best part. It actually goes into gear,
and you can drive it.
I can drive it now. But the unfortunate thing was the 2,500 RPM. Every time I press the gas down, it would get to 2,500 RPM. As soon as I get there, the engine would die. It just shut off. So I'm doing a bunch of research and trying to figure out why this is. And here's the funny part about when you have a Lamborghini build with a twin turbo kit that you make in your garage. Not a ton of information out there.
Wouldn't think there would be.
No, you're pretty much on your own for a lot of the stuff, because the people that know how to do this stuff, or the people that have done, they work for companies or they own companies, and they're not going to give you that information.
Right.
Also, there are people that with the ECU, like the Cyvex ECU that I have. There are people who will help you, but they cost a lot of money, and they can't help you like right now. There's a backlog just because these things are hard to tune and these things are pretty finicky. So I figured, like, I use kind of deductive reasoning here. If the car ran before the fire, the car was obviously running before the fire, right? So at some point in some iteration, it was running, and I know this. Mechanically, the car's fine. So the only thing that I have to do is make sure that all the wiring and all that componentry is working. Now, when I started going into it, I realized that there was a fuse that was blown. I realized that the center gauges weren't working or whatever, and I replaced the fuse. Center gauges started working, which is the oil temp, oil pressure, and the voltage.
Nice.
Which is good to know.
Yes. Yes.
If my engine has oil pressure. But then I got the car up to temperature, and I realized that there were no leaks in the coolant system. There are actually two radiators in the car. There's two small radiators in the front wings of the car, and they have one fan on each. It's actually pretty cool.
Wow.
One goes. So the interesting thing about the Lamborghini Gallardo, I'm not sure if the later ones have it. I'm pretty sure they do, but it's like two separate engines. They have separate cooling systems for each, and it's
For each bank?
yeah for each
Wow.
bank. It's I think there's a crossover somewhere maybe in the engine, but there are two hoses going into the expansion tank, and there are two radiators. So it's like a completely kind of sealed off system.
Probably just maximizes efficiency.
Maybe, but hopefully it's my left radiator is my left bank is running real hot. So I got that going, but it still wouldn't rev. And I looked into the Cyvex S12. So I downloaded their software, which is called S-Cal or something, S-Calibration. And they have a software suite. And the software suite comes with a bunch of stuff that is made for rocket scientists.
Did you have to make the payment for this?
No, I did not make the payment. It is a free. It is
This is very good.
yeah, because somebody already make the payment for for my ECU. They that ECU costs $10,000. Yeah, so but it does a lot of cool stuff. It does anti-lag. It does launch control. It does every single thing. Traction control. It does stuff.
I could redo my entire kitchen for $10,000.
There's a lot of things you could do for $10,000. You can buy. Let's say you can buy an entire car from somebody in the Midwest for $10,000.
Probably, but you wouldn't do that.
I would not do that.
No.
Not me. This is not my field of expertise.
No,
but I could if I wanted to.
I guess I couldn't.
But you definitely should. Well, so I went into it and I got a few error messages. And I know if I'm boring people about my hot Lamborghini error messages, I'm sorry. I will get to something of substance soon. I got two error messages. One was the fuel composition, which was no signal, and then another was the drive-by-wire throttle 1. It was like voltage. It was like calibration failure or something. And I'm like, okay. So at least that gives me something. Everything else was fine. All the sensors were reading fine, but those two sensors were giving me a problem. So I'm like, okay, so maybe that, if the thing's running too rich, then it might just hit some kind of cut and then it cuts the engine or the throttle body or, something, right? So today I'm reading through all my comments because I made a few videos and the comments, there's a range of comments here. So they go from, well, this could never happen and I'm not even sure you have a command of the English language to, all right, that works. Thank you very much. And, you gave me PDFs or something or like wiring diagrams, which is like really cool. This is something I haven't thought of. So there's a real range here. It's more skews towards this end of, I don't really understand. Like I've gotten a ton of emails like, I don't know much about cars, but what I would do is like, okay.
Okay.
Thank you. It's like, if I go to Chris Fix and I tell him like, what you should really do to spice up your channel, like,
yeah. You should totally buy a $10,000 Bentley Continental GT
yeah,
from
exactly.
Tyler Hoovy,
Yeah.
I will never do that.
Honestly, that would be great for his channel.
I think it would be awesome for his channel.
Yeah, but then again, who knows? He has his thing down pat. So, by the way, I got some Chris Fix merch. He sent me some.
Jam.
He sent me some swag.
Ooh,
yeah. We could probably open it up in the next episode or something. We could check it out. But I found out that I did a really kind of rednecky thing, which was since these drive-by-wire throttle bodies are basically they're just they're just motors.
Yeah, servo motor type.
Yeah,
deals.
And it doesn't you don't have to have them actually on the engine. I just took them off the engine, and since the top was down, I can see if they're actuating or not, right? So I just put them on top of the top with them connected, and I put the ignition on. I didn't turn on the engine, but I just pressed the gas down, and I saw that one was opening and the other one wasn't. It just wasn't doing anything. So I'm like, okay, well, there's your problem. So I go on eBay, I look at throttle bodies, and throttle bodies are like $2,000. And I'm like, well, that ain't good. I wouldn't want to spend that money. I mean, the ones, there are ones for like $300 and they might work or not, but whatever. So I'm like, crap, it's a real tough pill to swallow. So then I go, let me just check if it's the actual throttle body. So since there are two, I swapped them because if you swap them and the problem follows,
migrates.
Yeah, if the problem stays on that one, then it's that one, and the problem didn't follow. So it was a wiring, and I'm like, okay, well, so that's a little better. So I know the throttle body's fine. The throttle body works. And I traced it back. So apparently, these Lamborghinis, they have something called a throttle body ECU.
So they have a separate computer.
There's a separate thing that controls the throttle bodies.
Wow.
Now, with the S12, that has to be integrated into the S12, which it was in my car when they did the install. You can actually do the ECU part separate, and then it just talks to the throttle body ECU, but they said that you shouldn't do that just so the ECU can control everything. So that's how it was in my car, and it's like a separate harness that goes into the ECU, but I was looking through the harness, and I noticed that one of the wires was clipped.
Oh, well, there's your freaking problem.
Right, and it's like, oh, okay.
You're just like, no way.
No,
this is too easy.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. That is exactly. So, and the thing is, I always think that if a wire is clipped, it has to be there for a reason. Like this is.
But then you remember, this was put together with duct tape and gardening hose.
Exactly.
So.
But this was actually put together well because it had like the good electrical tape on it. It had like the cloth electrical tape.
Ooh, that's that bougie.
Yeah,
it's
nice. It nice. And it looked almost OEM. It looked like it was wrapped very well, and I couldn't see like the end of the wire in there. And I'm like, this, and the cut was pretty clean, and I'm like, this doesn't really make any sense. Like, it was probably cut for a reason, and maybe it's like a like a check wire or something. I don't know. So I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna. I took off the electrical tape. I could just cut into it, and then I just exposed all the wires. And lo and behold, one of the wires was just like frayed and just kind of stuck in there. And I'm like, okay, what I'm gonna do? So I'm just gonna peel apart the ends and connect these wires and just test it. At this point, I'm like, I am 10% confident that this is going to work.
Yeah.
Because nothing's ever this easy.
Right,
It's always like, oh, no, it's because one of the cylinder liners is bad or something,
Right.
It's never like, oh, some wire was disconnected. And I turned it on, pressed the gas down, and both of them opened up. And I'm like, ooh, that feels good. That is good. It's like, I've mended something.
Spends all night mending everything else in the car.
Like, what else can these magic hands? It was such a good feeling. So I put everything back together as fast as I could. I'm like, I bet this is it. I bet this is it. This is gonna be freaking awesome. And I put everything back together, turn on the car, wait till it gets out of limp mode. So it goes into limp mode up to a certain temperature. Mm-hmm. And then it's like,
will it do that like while it's running? Like that is a feature of the
Syvex? It's a feature of the Syvex. So you can set it to whatever you want, but it's just so you don't over rev it while you're warming up.
Yep.
If this is like a dumb person mode. Actually, I think BMW has something like that where the M5s and M3s, they had like a lower rev limit when it was warming up. So if you ever have an M3 or M5, I think M4s and whatever have them. But on the actual gauge cluster, they have the red line moves.
Right, when it warms up.
Yeah. But this is like, it's just a hard stop. Like, it won't let you rev past 4,500. But 4,500 is way more than what I was revving to before. So I revved to 4,500. I'm like, oh my God. Yes. Yeah. So then it got out of limp mode. It got into the normal mode.
And then you have full access.
Well, you do have full access, but then mine was still breaking up. And I'm like, I wonder why it's still like, it was getting to something. And there was like, it was just kind of, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what is that? And then I figured out that was the launch control. So that was a two-step. I was hitting the two-step. And so I just disabled that. I disabled launch control and I disabled anti-lag, which is enabled for some reason. I don't know who would need anti-lag in a Lamborghini, but that's going to be me at some point.
Rip to your turbos, my dude.
Dude, the turbos are going to handle it. They are stout. What is anti-lag? Listen, rallyists the world over use anti-lag.
Yeah, and they also rebuild their engine after it like every race.
They don't.
I know.
No.
I'm just saying it's a hyperbole, but
it's a hyperbole.
It's a hyperbole. It's look, lad. It's your car. You can do with it what you'd like. I feel like you shouldn't be running that all the time. You know
no, not all the time.
Okay.
Just like half the time, maybe. Half. You seen the Grand Tour skit where the Porsche GT3 RS or something, he's doing launch control everywhere. It's like just at inappropriate times.
Yes.
Goes to a funeral. Stoplight, waiting for a old lady to pass.
It me.
It's never inappropriate. So I was hitting the launch control, and then I took that off. I'm like, I wonder if this works. And then it revved all the way to like, I hit the gas and it went to like 7,000 like real quick. And I'm like, okay, all right, that'll do, pig.
I can get used to this,
dude. I posted a few videos,
snippets,
a few snippets on my Instagram and Twitter and social media and stuff. And on camera, it sounds good, right? It sounds fine.
It sounds like a Lambo.
It sounds like a Lambo.
You can kind of hear like the
yeah. You can hear the turbos. It sounds good. I love the way the exhaust sounds. It does not convey the sense of
volume.
Yeah, it is an incredible amount of volume. So before this podcast, you got to hear it a little bit. This was like in the limp mode where it just hit 4,000. How loud was it?
She sings real good. I guess I'm kind of jaded because I'm around race cars all the time.
Oh no, it's not.
It's definitely not race car loud, but it is
No.
like I would say it's on par with my turbo back straight pipe Mini Cooper. Like it is like that Mini Cooper is rowdy.
I would say it's because I know a race car sound. Race cars will deafen you from like 100 yards.
Yes.
So it's not that. But then again, race cars most likely they don't have the turbocharged ones. Well, actually, the naturally aspirated ones have a little more growl. But this is essentially muffled with the turbochargers, so that helps.
It's the only mufflers you ever need.
The only mufflers you ever need, which is fine. But it is so loud. Like I'm always looking at my neighbors. Like I'm trying to make sure that nobody calls the cops.
It is definitely loud enough to disturb neighbors, and on the road, it's gonna be.
Oh, on the road. See, on the road, I don't care. On the road because like I can move away from things real quick,
including the sound of your own car.
Yeah. So that's what you do. If you have a really loud car, you just go faster,
and it's real quiet.
Yeah,
just wind noise.
It gets more quiet because the sound is behind you, and you're running away from the sound.
Exactly.
That's how sound waves work.
Yeah.
But this thing is like in a garage where everything's reverberating. It's like my ears are ringing.
Yeah.
And it also runs really rich. So
very rich, yeah.
So the first time I started the car, it was like my eyes were burning. Like I couldn't be in that room anymore, which sucked. But that thumbs the brakes. I don't know. We gotta figure out why it's running that rich. I'm gonna have to get a tune on it. I still am gonna do some little minor tweaks and whatever. But this car is running. It doesn't leak anything. I think it has like some minor oil leak that I can take care of really quickly. Mm-hmm. But, dude.
Like you said when we were in the garage, this dog is going to hunt.
Yeah, this dog will hunt. So it's like the baller pipe that we had made up, the exhaust, it sounds so good. See, it didn't sound like that before. I have a clip of how the car sounded when I was on the dyno, and it sounded okay, but it has like a more exotic, tinge.
Definitely the turbos are much more audible now.
Yeah, the turbos are audible, and also the fact that the exhausts come together and it's a more uniform sound rather than two kind of loppy 5 cylinders.
Right.
Like now it's a V10. So I am. Dude, I got so excited.
I am excited.
Like I don't get excited for much. Like when I was when I'm working on something and like you kind of see the end of the tunnel, like you get a little excited. But when stuff like really starts coming together, like whoa, this is crazy.
And like this will be a fun car like to just go on a drive. It'll be a fun car to like take your girl out on like date night. Like it's that occasion. It'll have that
well, not with my wife because my my wife is not having any of that.
Oh no!
Oh, she is the wrong person for that. That's not a date night car. The date night car is just going to be. Honestly, she doesn't care about cars.
Oh.
I wager most women. This might be sexist Tavares here talking. Sexist old man Tavares. But I don't think that women care about cars like some of the men that buy cars for women think they do. So
that is true. Yeah. Although in my travels, I have actually met a fair few girls that at times know more than I do.
I'm not talking about car enthusiasts. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay. You're just talking about girls.
I'm saying getting girls with cars. See, like if you buy a Lamborghini or something or a Ferrari, Doug Tamura had a video about this a million years ago about like you can't get women with cars.
Only guys.
Yeah. Like if you're into guys, get a car. Get a car because you will be swimming in a sea of guys. I have. When I got this car and like other cars that I get, they might be nice, like the Aston Martin and the other car that I haven't bought yet. Whenever I talk to my wife about it or talk to any girl about it, or any woman rather, I don't want to be out of turn. I asked them like, well, it's a car, it's all right. Why is it so loud? Why is it so bumpy? Why is it like?
Fortunately, I have found I got me a good one, and
Oh no! My wife is very, very good. I have nothing but good things to say.
I'm saying on
But-
on the I guess on the car front.
Sure.
My girl is she's not an enthusiast by any stretch of the imagination, but sometimes she'll see a car and be like, "Ooh, babe, look at that," and like I'm like,
Oh no, of course.
Yes, you have learned well.
I have taught you the ways.
And she is saying how, like, you know, of course we always talk about, like, you know, we're gonna have a house and blah 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 blah. Like, she's like, we need to have like a converted barn for all of our cars. I'm like, let's fly to Vegas right now.
You want to do this? I mean, like,
you mine.
yeah.
I claim you.
I like to plant my flag. So yeah. When people get cars like this, like Lamborghinis or whatever,
It's all dudes.
they're like, dude, you must get laid all the time. Like, no. Like, no, you go to gas stations, people are like, how fast do you go to that? Well, that thing must be expensive.
What kind of gas mileage you get in that thing?
Wow, man, that thing must eat gas. How many gas stations you went to today?
Yeah.
And like,
Pass anything but a gas station.
yeah. Yeah, it's...
Man, when this car is done, you are going to be in the upper echelon of fast vehicles on the road, like in the planet. You're going to be in that. You're going to be the 1%.
That is crazy. Yeah. So I'm going to be in the 1%. Also,
For $65,000.
right, which is what people spend on a base model, BMW or something. So that's one thing. Like, I can go to like a legitimate exotic car rally, and like before, if I go to exotic car rally and I have like a SL55, it's like technically maybe exotic, not really.
You're like the guy that shows up at the Porsche meet with like a Boxster.
Right.
Everyone else
Okay,
has like
we'll let you-
GT2s, GT3s.
We'll let you in, but your friend's got to stay the hell away. Your friend's got to leave.
It's got the Porsche badge on it, so let him in.
Fun fact: I went to a long time ago. I went to an exotics car rally. It's actually called Exotics Rally by my friend Seth Rose. And I went there with my Lexus SE300.
Nice.
And they had like twin turbo Lambos. They had like Vipers and stuff. And me, I show up with it had like a 1JZ. It had like 300 horsepower,
Sure.
which was I thought was fast. I thought it was I thought it was like a not a big man on the block. I wanted to make it look presentable. I had a homemade paint job and all this stuff, but it was like from 50 feet away it looked okay. But man, there are some people that didn't like the fact that there were some Lexuses there, mainly mine. People were complaining about the quality of the cars showing up. So that was, this is the same kind of rally where there was like a Lamborghini Yalpa. There's a Lamborghini Yalpa. Like these are like legitimately, I think there was like a Maserati MC12, and then like here comes the Lexus. Like, you ever seen the Gold Rush rallies? Where you have the Bugattis and Koenigsegg's and whatever, and like all of a sudden, like 350Z,
Yeah, or like Lancer Evo, like
like that. What happened was that guy had a build going on that didn't make it.
Yep.
And he borrowed his friend's car, or this is a car that he was like working on in his shop, and like, screw it, I'm just taking this one.
Yep.
It's like bone stock 350Z automatic.
probably more reliable than a Maserati or Lambo.
most likely.
And fewer fuel stops.
Yeah, that's the one that's actually going to make it, but you're not going to have as much fun, and you're definitely not going to be attracting the people. And
I mean, do you really want to attract cops though?
so I've been on a rally. Here's the thing: I think we should talk about this in maybe my next my next podcast.
Oh, can I be in it?
I'm gonna. Well, we'll think about it.
Okay.
No, in the next podcast, I think we could talk about this about like rallies, about like exotic car rallies, and just
Sure.
like driving rallies and stuff. And there's been a lot of them. Like, they've been popping up. And I've been on one. I like it very much, but I have my reservations about some other ones. So, have you ever been on one?
No.
No.
Girl, I'm too poor for all that.
No. Well, okay. So we can change that. We can change that. Well, we can get you to a rally. I can't change you being poor. I don't know. That's something that you'll have to work out with God. I don't know. Is God who makes you poor? Is that how things work? I don't know.
Thank you for my poverty, Lord.
Oh my god. Oh my god. No, I really shouldn't be talking. I have like no cars that work. So I think in the next episode we could talk about that. And yeah, we're good.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
that was quick. It actually went by really quick.
It did.
So if you'd like to contact us, you'd like to ask us a question and hear me ramble about random things, then you can do so at iwrencheveryday@gmail.com. And we are also on Instagram and Twitter at wrencheveryday. And we are also on SoundCloud, Google Play Music, and
iTunes.
Yeah, iTunes, give us 5 stars.
For our email address, start sending us, if you have like a really cool build, send us some photos and some info. Like, I think we should start featuring cool, unique builds here.
I think so too.
All right.
I think so too. I just didn't know if that was going to be too big of a task to handle for our fledgling podcast. You know, there's a lot of moving parts in this this mesh of wrenching goodness we call it podcast.
I guess, or you could always just send us a picture of your tullet.
Send us a picture of your tullet.
Send us a picture of your tullet.
So this is me, Tavares, for Andrew Howell, reminding you guys, as always, to wrench every day.